It is time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength. In this quote, Maya Angelou is expressing the significance of parents passing on to their children the importance of understanding, learning about, and sharing in other cultures, experiences, and traditions. In our world, communication becomes less difficult when we are able to become more open-minded and try and see another perspective other than our own. I grew up in a biracial family. From a young age, I embraced differences because I wasn't taught to notice them or see them as odd. Growing up, I had friends of various backgrounds, and I got to spend time with their families. And through this, I got to try different foods and hear different language and experience different traditions. One of the things I've always wanted most in my life is to be a worldly person, and that is to study not only my own culture and background, but also as many of the other cultures and backgrounds there are out there. I want to not only learn about them, but I want to have experience in them, because experience is the greatest learning tool that we do have to put ourselves in an unfamiliar situation and completely embrace those things. I do feel there are times when I do feel a little unsure of myself in unfamiliar situations with other cultures or backgrounds, just because I never want to disrespect somebody's views, or different cultures work differently in your interactions with familiar and unfamiliar situations. And I always feel uncertain that there's something that I don't know or I haven't experienced, and I might react the wrong way and disrespect somebody's, how they're used to interacting, just because simply I don't have the knowledge. My boyfriend, actually, his family is Buddhist, my boyfriend Phil, and that's been a very beneficial situation, just that we've gotten to share experiences. He was raised in a Buddhist family and I was raised in a Catholic family, so our backgrounds are different, so we've both been able to share and learn from each other's experiences. One of my favorite instances is on a tradition of giving gifts in the Buddhist background, and it's considered bad luck if anytime you're given a gift of a Buddhist icon or anything depicting a deity from the culture, that if you don't display it immediately, it's bad luck, and it's also disrespectful. And a couple weeks ago, his aunt had actually given me a little car charm that hangs off your rearview mirror, and I immediately, because I had learned this from him, I immediately went outside and hung it in my car. So now my car is protected. It's kind of like a little Buddhist prayer. It's protected for the car and the travelers within it. Because I have these experiences with Phil, I can feel more acculturated. As I experience moments like that, it becomes second nature that you just learn things through experiences. I also share my family traditions and customs with him, and it's an exchange of information. In communication, you must not only be effective in expressing yourself, but you have to be receptive to taking in information from other groups. The biggest obstacle, I feel, is self-confidence when it comes to being in unfamiliar scenarios. I tend to be more quiet and timid, and I'm afraid to offend anyone, as I said earlier, so I tend to close myself off a little bit instead of just putting myself and being very open, just because I'm afraid how it may come off or be perceived by others, and this is the biggest obstacle I face in growing as a communicator. It's something I actively work on with my boyfriend's family. I ask questions when I can, and I'm trying to do things. I get to do things with Phil, like I've gone to the local Buddhist temple with him and see how traditions there work. It makes the dynamic a little bit easier. One of the things I also like is that they have a shrine in their home. It's a way in the Buddhist faith that you can respect and honor loved ones who are no longer with you. Variety is a spice of life, and if we allow ourselves to be truly open individuals, we can learn so much about the world around us. The world is so much more than our own individual scopes of reality. It's more than our personal views. In communications, we study how to interact with all kinds of groups. We must seek to be explorers of different cultures and embrace them to better understand our world.